Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Time HQ. I'm your host, Fernando. Joined with me today is my great co-host, Keith. Keith, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm surviving. I mean,
Yeah,
a
surviving.
little bit under the weather, and my Seahawks were completely under the weather this weekend. So yeah, it's not a great weekend, but doing okay.
Don't worry. As a Patriots fan, even though we're on a bye week, we still lost. We still lose.
You still lose? Why?
Because we always find a way to lose, even on a bye week.
I thought you'd be happy that you didn't get to see your Patriots this week. I play. It's a week we don't have to talk about them losing, so you can talk about the Seahawks losing.
Yeah, you lost by 1 point. Isn't that sad?
Oh man, it was a terrible game. It was terrible. I mean, whatever. Gino coming out and going back in, and it was all just a mess. The offense was a mess.
I know. I really needed Gino to throw 2 touchdowns for my Underdog Fantasy bet to hit, and then he had to get hurt.
I know, and he probably would have, to be fair. I mean, I thought the first drive was great, and then after that, it was just terrible. Yeah, Drew Lock coming in obviously added nothing. It just looked like came in cold. He was off with the receivers.
He was locked in to lose.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just bad. Yeah, I mean, then the kick at the end to try and win. They say, I don't know. He got no communication, Gino, for the last play where they just ran the ball, where there was still 25 seconds on the clock to get it closer for an easier kick for Myers, but I don't know. It was all a mess between the penalties, the coaching, everything was a mess for the Seahawks. So it's been kind of how their season is kind of going really right now.
Yeah, and who do you guys have a bye week, right? Coming up soon? Or did you guys already have a bye week?
Oh, we got the worst run. We need that win. We got the 49ers on Thanksgiving. And then I think it's like the Cowboys, then the 49ers again, then Philly. It's like I don't see us winning a game, for a while.
Because you guys play on Thursday Night Football, one of the 3 games to play.
We're this Sunday Night Football game, yeah. A home to 49ers, which you won't win.
I was just going to ask you if you think your team was going to win. No, you don't think so?
No. I mean, the defeats we've had, the only one where I think, like, obviously we've lost to the Rams twice. They swept us, and then we lost to the Bengals, which that one we should have won. That was like, okay, everyone else was good. Gino was terrible, but like we got blown out first game against the Rams, and then we were just terrible this week. So many penalties, so many bad coaching decisions, Gino going off. It was just a mess. So yeah, they kind of deserve what they get so far this season, the Seahawks. They're kind of just going to end up middling out, and it's going to be more hoping to make playoffs. Whether I don't think they will. I think it'll be more just a hope and see what happens.
6-4 is not a bad record right now.
It's fine until you realize the next 4 games you're probably not going to win one.
Imagine going the next 4 games losing, and then you're 6-8 now, down outside, looking outside in.
Yeah, I think we're in trouble then. Like,
well, what about the Patriots? Patriots got to be going to the playoffs, right?
I mean, come the end of the season, we'll be just talking about. I mean, maybe the Seahawks have a few more wins, but probably just talking about bad seasons and no playoffs. So we'll be in the same boat.
We got the number 3 overall pick currently. We go to face the Giants next week in New York. I mean, Mr. DeVito over there is lighting things up, probably better than Daniel Jones this season, and I think Mr. DeVito is going to get another victory for the Giants. At least we're praying. We're praying for it. As a Patriots fan,
at this stage now, you just want the closer to that number 1 pick or whatever, the best.
Get rid of Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I know a Giants fan, and he said he was so upset they won. I mean, he had people coming at him going, "Well done, your team's winning. You're not going to be grumpy," and stuff like that. It's like, I'm very grumpy. I do not want to win this game, because he was obviously trying to get close to the first pick. So I mean,
But the Giants can't get quarterback. They signed Daniel Jones for too much money.
Yeah, I know. What do you do though? Do they get? They probably just trade back and get more picks and try and build that team. But
Draft a receiver. Draft Marvin Harrison.
you could draft Marvin Harrison, all right, but I don't know. I think the Giants are. I think the Giants are worse than the Patriots. I do. I think you're going to win.
No.
Maybe obviously you don't want to, but is it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's going to be Zappy. So
Zappy. I mean, it could be the ghost of Christmas past. I don't know. We don't really know.
Will Greer? Is he still there? Greer? He was there.
Yeah, I think so. Probably practice squad.
Yeah. Who knows?
I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But let's get into our waivers of the week. Before we go into our waivers, of course, use code SportsTimeHQ on Underdog Fantasy. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And then if you're looking to purchase a trophy ring or a belt, go to TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. Once again, TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. You can go get the toilet trophy for the loser of your fantasy team, which will be Keith this year, as usual, per usual.
Hey, it's not in any of our leagues, I don't think.
I don't think it's in any of our leagues. Neither of us are going to get that one.
Yeah, what about the head-to-head we're doing at the moment? I still think I'm all right there. We'll talk about that later, but maybe you'll be getting that.
Yeah. Let's go into our quarterbacks. And Keith, I'll start with your quarterback. Who is your quarterback of the week to add on waivers?
I didn't like a lot of quarterbacks matchups coming up this week, so I based this one just off matchup. So it's Matthew Stafford. Obviously, didn't light things up really against Seahawks. He had threw for 190 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 10 fantasy points. But he's playing the Cards this week, and I think this could be like a back and forth game. It could be high scoring. It's going to be a Puka Nacua game. So there's our shout out as usual. It's usually you, Fernando, that's doing that. But with Cooper Kupp,
I'll take it.
You take it. Cooper Kupp's day to day with the injury, so I think Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua are going to go off this game. Kyler Murray is going to give them a chance. Going to give the Cards a chance with being back. So I think Stafford's a good play this week. Just going to have to watch. He did get hurt in the Seahawks game, but he did come back on, looked okay. So I think he's just a good play against the Cards.
Maybe it's because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Stafford personally. I'm not a fan of Stafford. And the question is Cooper Kupp. I mean, that's the biggest question mark. Cooper Kupp's injury, because I think he's right now day to day, but he might not play. And if he does play and he re-aggravates, then boom, he's going to be out for the game. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know where I stand, but Stafford has high potential, but I'm not the biggest fan of Stafford. Are you starting Stafford over Joshua Dobbs?
Who was Dobbs playing this week? I know I didn't like the matchup, I don't think.
Dobbs is facing I almost got you the wrong team. Chicago, the Bears. Division game.
Yeah, that's the toughest one. I mean, I still think I'd lean Stafford over Dobbs purely because it's a division game. I mean, we've seen what Chicago did to the Lions. Goff threw a couple of picks in that game, so I'd lean Stafford in that game. Yeah,
I'm concerned. The only thing I'm concerned about with Stafford is they've already faced Arizona, and it's supposed to be a good matchup for Stafford and the Rams, but Stafford only put up 13 points against Arizona the first time. It could be different, but I will say he's never put up 20 points this season yet in fantasy.
Well, it's going to be a first. It's going to be his first week.
It's going to be a first. Interesting. All right. Stafford's your guy. My guy is Mr. Joshua Dobbs himself. He's still under 70% owned, which is insane. Obviously, we don't talk about any players other than Puka Nacua that's over 70% owned. Joshua Dobbs, 69.8% owned, 17.9 points this week. He did throw that first interception as a Viking in last night's game. QB7 right now in fantasy, 17 plus points in 4 straight weeks, 24 points 3 of the last 4 weeks. Obviously, last week being the one that he didn't put up anything. But I like Chicago's matchup. I like the matchup with Chicago. I think the Vikings should blow them out of the water. And the reason why I'm still predicting that Joshua Dobbs needs to be owned in all fantasy leagues is because Jay Jettas is still not back. And once he is back and healthy, sky's the limit for him.
Is he coming back this week?
He should be back this week. He should be back this week.
That definitely goes in Dobbs' favor. I mean, Chicago were definitely tough though. They were a lot tougher against the Lions, and division games are just way harder to predict because teams just know each other, a lot better. I still like the matchup for Dobbs. Don't get me wrong, and I like what he's been doing. He did have some silly throws last night against Denver that kind of cost it at the end, but we haven't seen many of them so far. So hopefully he kind of continues on that way. But yeah, I don't mind the pick. Dobbs was mine last week. I still think that he's doing well. I think they should win, but it could be another shootout. I mean, Fields look pretty good for
DJ
Chicago.
Moore.
Yeah,
DJ Moore looks good with Fields back.
Yeah, they linked up well. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a good game. He could definitely hit the 18 to 20 points as kind of what he's been doing for most of the season.
Yeah, I think he's going to smash 18 points easily this week against Chicago, 18 plus points. Stafford, I think I could put a guarantee tag on Stafford getting 16 points, 15, 16 points this week.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I'm hoping he gets higher. You're cautious. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Stafford, Dobbs are 2 waiver wire quarterbacks of the week. Some alternate options I put in there, 2 names that are starting to make a name for themselves. Are going to anyways, but Russell Wilson, he scored low. He didn't really have that great of a fantasy day, but I put him in there because I think they're on a 4-game winning streak, and it looks like that Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson are having connections. Maybe there's a dynamic brewing, but yeah, I think that's an option. Jordan Love, Tommy DeVito, Jake Browning, some other options. I think I put Jake Browning, especially if you need quarterbacks. I mean, that's a big one. If you need quarterbacks and it's a super flex league, Jake Browning's a guy to go for because you got Jamar Chase there, T. Higgins when he's back, Tyler Boyd, and then Tanner Hudson.
Yeah. I mean, Jake Browning, I still think he's going to take this opportunity. I still think they can beat the Steelers. I mean, the Bengals have opened up as favorites over the Steelers, especially I think when they seen lose to Cleveland against a backup, that probably helped that. But,
sorry, how do you lose to Cleveland? How do you lose to
Right?
Cleveland?
I know. Cleveland's defense is really good. But
I predict Cleveland to win before getting the Watson injury report. And then once Watson went down, I was like, all right, I got to flip the scores. I got to flip the game. It's going to be a Steelers victory.
I kept the Cleveland. Yeah, I had Cleveland and I just kept it. I was like, I'm just leaving it and see what happens. But yeah. I mean, Kenny Pickett's just terrible. I'm going with that now. I don't care. He sucks. We'll see what happens, but I'm going with he sucks right now. But with the other guys here, I liked Russ, but I seen he was against Cleveland. That's what put me off Russ. Jordan Love is so hot and freaking cold. I mean, he's either great or he's trash. So it depends what. Take a chance and see what you get from him. And good old DeVito. Yeah. If you're in deep trouble in a deep league, he's worth taking.
And Jake Brown, not really. Do you
I
think Browning's going to score more than DeVito?
Yeah, I take a chance on Browning over DeVito, to be honest, just in the matchup and who he could just pepper Jamar Chase. Who knows? You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. And then Jordan Love, of course, he's got something brewing with Katy Perry, right? That's the person that sings "Hot and Cold."
Well played.
No, but I completely agree. I mean, Jordan Love, we had him on the alternate waivers last week and then got him again this week. But the question is he was one of my main guys in the beginning of the season, and he just fell off the face of the earth in the middle of the season. And now he's trying to make a name for himself again. Because I think he was over 70% owned at one point. And now he's way down.
Yeah, he started off really well. That's why.
That's the thing. He started hot, then got really cold, and now he's getting hot again.
Yep, exactly.
Hot and cold. All right, let's go into our running backs. And you might like the guy I'm going to talk about, and that's Mr. Zach Charbonnet from the Seattle Seahawks. 15.5% owned, 12.9 points this past week. Oh, he had 15 rushing attempts for 47 yards, but the main thing that really brought his fantasy points up is the targets and receptions that he got. He caught all 6 targets for 22 yards. This is back-to-back weeks with double-digit points, 5+ targets in the last 2 weeks, and obviously with a short week and news coming out that Kenneth Walker is probably not going to go on IR, but most likely is going to miss this week, especially because it's a short week and they play on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Zach Charbonnet is going to be that guy. He's going to be that running back to lead the backfield. And I think he can easily hit a top 15 running back this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be the number 1 running back in the waiver wires that people are going to go for this week. Mm-hmm. Of course I like him. I'm a Seahawks fan. But no, he's looked really good out there. It's just he's got a tough run of games coming up. The 49ers, I don't think he's going to – I think he'll do – I don't know if he'll get top 15, to be honest. He'll do okay. It'll all depend. You don't think so? It'll all depend if he gets a lot of passing down work. I think that's where it's going to boost, where he's going to get, if he can go top 15, top 20. Because it's going to be a tough matchup. They're going to be in Geno's face all day long. I mean, they're going to need the rushing game to really stand strong here. I like the pick. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's a lot of tough games coming. The next 4 games are just going to be really tough for running backs.
Okay. I completely get you on that. I completely understand that. I mean, I think Charbonnet, I like Charbonnet. I actually like him. I just didn't think the landing spot was good for him when he was a rookie, when he was getting drafted.
I was surprised we took him, but I can see the whole 1-2 punch now, and Walker gets injured a lot, as we're seeing.
Yeah, you guys have saved yourselves in the running back position for drafting him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who is your guy? And tell me a little bit about your guy, because I like your guy a lot.
I didn't get someone you had. I think you had him last week.
I think I had him in the alternate waivers last week.
You might have had it. So it's Khalil Herbert. Foreman went down. Foreman was looking pretty good, and then he got banged up and went down. Now Khalil Herbert came in, didn't do a whole lot on 16 attempts. He got like 35 yards. But I think going forward, he's going to go back to his usual role. They're going to probably mix in Rashawn Johnson, but still, he's going to be the main guy. They're playing the Vikings. It's not the worst. It's not the best matchup. It's not the worst either for running backs. I still think he'll have an okay game. He's definitely worth a flex play. I think, and yeah, he's 65% owned. I think he probably at one stage was over the 70% owned mark, but with the injuries, he went on IR, he's back down. So I think he's definitely one to own because he's probably the running back 1 for the Bears right now.
Yeah, I mean, Herbert, obviously, it was his first game back, so he's not going to be incorporated into the game plan right away. Like, he's not going to get every touch. And I said that last week too, that Herbert, he was coming off IR, he was going to be eased into that offense because they do have Deonta Foreman. And you saw that here this week. You saw Deonta Foreman get touches as well, and he scored a similar amount of points as Khalil Herbert. But obviously, you're going to see those touches sort of kind of like change a little bit. Like, it's going to be more on Herbert's side over Foreman.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can see Herbert's going to be number 1 now, right? Regardless of what's going on. They'll mix in Rashawn Johnson, and if Foreman's not too bad, or, he comes back after a couple of weeks or something, he'll get mixed in like slowly. Maybe he'll rob some work around the goal line, but I still think Khalil Herbert's the main guy now. So you could probably ride with him now for the remainder of the fantasy season.
Yeah, I especially with running backs being terrible. Terrible.
Absolutely shocking.
I mean,
and they were tough to pick this week. I mean, like Charbonnet was a standout, but after that, then it was tough.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, Zach Charbonnet and Khalil Herbert are 2 waiver wire running backs, but you look at these alternate options. I had to put Deonta Foreman in there because he did score 7.4 points, but you see these names. These names don't really stand out to you and really appeal to you. I mean, the only one that really stands out to me the most is Ty Chandler, and that's because he had 15 points, and he did really good, and I think he's doing better than Alexander Madison, and I think Madison is going to be out the door next year. I think they're going to be aiming for a running back to draft in running back to draft in next year's draft. But Ty Chandler is the only guy that really stands out. The other one I would say after that is Royce Freeman. And the reason why I say Royce Freeman, which is an oddball one, he had 73 yards on the ground. 73 yards on the ground. He had a lot of touches on that Rams offense. Ran around your defense.
Yep.
And I mean, I think Freeman's a good shout personally, because I think if you're really in deep trouble with running backs, he's only 17.5% owned.
Yeah, I mean, deep leagues definitely go snag him, but Ty Chandler is definitely the best. I agree with you. I think he'll definitely surpass Madison, and yeah, he could be out the door there. Chandler looks way better.
Weeks. Oh, yeah. He's younger too, isn't he? I think he's younger too. What is he, a rookie or second year?
Second year, I think. Yeah.
Second year. Yeah, I mean, he's been back to back. He's been on our alternate running back options back to back weeks. So it's just whether or not he's going to break that alternate running back option be on our actual waiver wire out of the week next week.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of a similar situation with the Steelers backfield. I mean, Jaylen Warren has always looked better, and
so sad.
And now he's only starting to get in, but it's taken ages for him to get in. So I mean, it'll be the same. It'll be the same situation here, but I think he will eventually get in ahead of Madison, and that'll be that.
Warren right now listed as an RB2 for the week, given before this tonight's game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he had 23.5 points.
He looked really good from what I've seen, and then they mixed in Najee, but then Najee's interview at the end wasn't happy being surpassed. But, I mean, if Warren's going to keep putting up the numbers, Najee could find himself looking for a new team next season.
Hear me out. Jaylen Warren, back-to-back weeks with triple-digit rushing yards. He had 9 attempts this week. 9 attempts. And he had triple digits in 9 attempts, 129 yards, the most in his career.
I mean, they were saying the whole like thunder and lightning thing, but he's the thunder and lightning just himself. It's not even, they don't even need Najee really to do his bit. I mean, Najee gets stuffed around the goal so much. Are they? They're the same age? Well, there you go. It's Warren's back. It's Warren's backfield. Najee's going to be out there, I think.
Yeah. I think AJ Dillon could also be on the move this week. Not this week. After the season, I think they're going to.
Yeah. I agree
because Dillon's got potential. It's not in Green Bay.
He's got better over the weeks. He looked terrible at the start. I was like, he's looked slow. He looks awful. He's got a little better as the weeks gone on, but yeah, he needs to get out of Green Bay. Maybe if he got more work and he didn't have to mix it in with Aaron Jones or something like that a whole lot, he'd do better. But yeah, I think he needs to get out of there.
Also, breaking news that just broke out. Sean McVay has confirmed that Kyren Williams will return for the Rams this week.
Oh, nice. Well, that saves one of my fantasy teams. Thank you for that news.
Wow. I also would like to get some other breaking news. Puka Nacua has been now listed questionable for this week's game.
What's wrong with Puka Nacua?
I haven't really got a word on Puka Nacua. The only injury update that I have is Deontay Johnson, who pulled away from a member of coaching staff during the loss, and it looks like he might be sidelined.
Okay.
Upcoming. I don't know too much on that, but that's kind of what I've been hearing. Haven't really heard anything else. Travis Kelce's dealing with a lingering pain.
He'll be fine.
He says retirement is on his mind more than anyone could ever imagine.
Interesting.
So, dynasty managers, if you're trying to get rid of Travis Kelce for a haul, now's your time.
Now's your chance, exactly.
But yeah, Sleeper just posted that Puka Nacua has been now listed questionable. So
the Seahawks couldn't win, but they banged up everybody.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's go into our wide receivers, and I'll start with my guy, and he kind of took this week by storm in Thursday Night Football with Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, Mr. Odell, he showed some flashes, showed that he has potential to still be fantasy relevant. 7 targets, 4 receptions, 116 yards, 11 points plus in the last 3 straight weeks. Mark Andrews now out for the season, another tight end that has hit the coffin this season. I think Odell sky's the limit.
You just killed a dude on your podcast. Where's Mark Andrews gone, guys? He died on Sportsline HQ.
He's not dead, but his ankle is.
Yeah,
His ankle
okay.
is. His ankle's dead. But yeah, Mark Andrews out for the season. This got to go in like a blooper segment. I gotta clip this out.
Yeah,
I can't. The things things I say, man. I don't know. I don't understand. Oh, anyways, Odell. I don't know if you saw him though, but he tried doing a one-handed catch from when he was back in the Giants. He tried doing a one-handed catch in the same exact spot of the end zone on Thursday night. I don't know if you got to see that, but there was an opportunity where he was trying to go for one hand.
no, I didn't see it, but he did well. I mean, I do think he's.
You would have saw it if he made the catch.
Oh yeah, definitely would have been everywhere. But I do like the pick. I think he's the guy to own now with Andrews being out. I mean, we've seen that he's been finding the end zone now. The connection with Lamar, it's there, and I think he's like he was an elite receiver. It looks like he still has that speed. So I think he is the receiver to own now. So I really like this pick going forward.
Yeah, I think besides him, I think him and Zay Flowers are really going to get be fantasy relevant for the rest of the season. I think that's really the only two guys besides Gus the Bus and Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, I was really in on Zay Flowers start of the season. He wasn't used a whole lot. I mean,
he's blooming though.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's blooming. You're in good form today. But I do. If you ask me who to pick, I own a lot of Zay Flowers, but I'd rather have Odell Beckham right now. I think, especially in leagues where I'm competing.
Yeah, I really think that I think Zay Flowers personally is better than Quentin Johnston.
Oh, he is. Yeah, definitely. I'm not. Do you see that Quentin Johnston one where he could have caught it for the touchdown? He like hits his chest off his knee and it goes flying out. I mean, if he just catches that, they win the game. I mean, the guy looks awkward and unsure. And yeah, I know. I'm not in on him at all.
No, I mean, speaking of the Chargers, now that we're on that subject, Keenan Allen dropped 2 possible touchdown passes too.
Blaming
that offense was. Yeah, that offense was brutal though.
It was, yeah. And then you had Staley coming out and he was getting questioned over, should he coach the defense and all that, and he went nuts and said, I'm going to be doing it and stop asking, more or less. But yeah, I don't know. That guy's lucky to still have a job. I think that Chargers team is like one of the most expensive teams in the league.
They're going to move on from him. And
he's not producing. He's not producing the goods. He's not coaching well. He's not doing anything well, and they keep losing. They have the most losses by one score in the league. Like that, they need to sort that out.
They're the reverse Vikings from last year.
Exactly, that's what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay though. Bill Belichick will be a Los Angeles Chargers head coach next year.
That's it. I'd say it's between the Chargers and the Commanders, whatever they're called now. Yeah, that's what it sounds like right now.
Yeah. You also hear John Harbaugh is interested in becoming the head coach of the Raiders.
Oh, really? That'd be interesting.
I think it's the Brady-Harbaugh connection. I think that's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, the Raiders, I don't know, that Raiders, it always seems like there's never enough good players on the field, and it always seems like there's a lot of controversy upstairs. That'd be one team I'd just stay away from if I was looking to coach a team.
Yeah, not a team I would want to coach. The weather could be nice, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to live in Vegas, but other than that, no.
Yeah, no. But who is Odell? Obviously, my guy. Who is your guy? I'm trying to read your mind, but I can't read your mind on who you want to pick. So tell me who you're thinking.
I'll tell you. It's Jaden Reed from the Green Bay Packers. I mean, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 46 yards. Not great, but he rushed 3 times for the same 46 yards and a touchdown. Ended up the day with over 19 fantasy points, but he's put together back-to-back games of 19 points. Looks like a guy Jordan Love has trusted, and obviously it's doing well for Love because he's back on his hot streak that we were talking about, and it all kind of is revolving around some of the rookies and him being one of them. So They're on Thanksgiving on Thursday against the Lions, division game. But this is generally the Lions. We've seen DJ Moore have a good game. So hopefully Jalen Reed can have a good game because it is a good matchup for wide receivers. So I like Jaden Reed this week. Like his talent, and he's definitely a guy I'm kind of sneaky looking around now in Dynasty League, seeing what I can get see what people want, see what I can get from. But I think he's a good play this week.
Yeah, dynasty wise, I think he was being drafted in like late 4th, 5th round pick personally, and that's because they also had Romeo Doubs there, but Jaden Reed is starting to get that connection with Jordan Love, which is great to see. It just depends on whether or not Jordan Love's going to be cold next week, but Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs has been those targets for Jordan Love. But the question is that I'm going to ask you, what the heck's going on with Christian Watson? He's playing.
I was not in on Christian Watson this year, and I'll tell you why. He was 2 touchdown dependent last year. It's like every time he caught a ball last year, it was in the red zone or in the end zone.
Yeah,
and you can't sustain that. That every time you're nearly getting it, you're getting a touchdown. That's not going to happen. So the targets,
unless you're Christian McCaffrey,
that's it. Yeah, where you're getting, but the volume wasn't there. It was like every time, you see him, he's catching a touchdown pass, and that can't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's happened this year. If he's not, he's not in play, he's not seeing the receptions, he's not getting there. I'm not saying he's a bad player. It's just not there. Him and Love just don't get on the same page like they do with Dobbs, or now we're seeing with Reed. So, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Maybe they'll find their connection down the stretch here and see. But if not, there's definitely questions to be asked in the offseason what they're going to do with Watson.
Yeah, I mean, Romeo Doubs, who's also under 70% owned, I mean, he had 16.3 points, had another great week this week. And if Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs can keep up, I mean, I love the Packers and love these players to go pick up, because those are the only players that are fantasy relevant on that team.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was big on Dobbs coming in just because we knew he had that connection. Who else you got in here? Elijah Moore. Yeah, it's all right. Rondell Moore, he's going to be a bit more relevant.
He's moving up.
Moving up. He had that big touchdown catch from Kyler Murray. I still think he ended up like around 12. What you have there is it 12 fantasy points? No?
12.4 points. And then I also added Tutu Atwell, and that's because of the whole Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, both being injured. Atwell's a good stream.
He looks pretty good, Atwell. I mean, obviously didn't have a great game against Seahawks. That's just the way it was. But that game wasn't that good at all anyways. But he's looked pretty good being out there. He's taking kind of that deep role. I like him. So definitely if we're not, probably, I don't think Kupp is going to play. Whatever was up with Puka Nacua, we'll see. But I think Tutu Atwell will definitely get more targets this week.
Yeah, I like Tutu Atwell, and he looked good when Cooper Kupp was gone and Puka Nacua. It was Nacua and Atwell, and those both players were relevant.
They were, yeah. Because I had Tutu Atwell in a few dynasty leagues, and I was playing him on flex, and he was bringing in the goods.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to start bringing the goods again.
Yep, hopefully.
Let's go into our tight ends. Well, that's it. That's all we got. For tight ends.
It was literally like this.
Oh my goodness.
With tight ends this week. I have actually, when I was doing it, I was like putting in who I want. And I was like, no, take that out. No, that's terrible. I was like, who am I picking?
It was bad. Did your player even get above 10 points?
My player who I picked? No, he got like one target last week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll start with my guy, and that's Mr. Logan Thomas from the Mr. Commanders area. Sam Howell still producing. Can't talk about him anymore in waivers because he's officially over 70%. But Logan Thomas, 63.7% owned, 8.8 points this past week. So again, not getting double-digit points, but that is right now the average for tight ends. And we've said that all season, that 8 points. And really, you can't go wrong if your tight end scores 8 points. If they score more, then you won your week for the tight end position. But 8 targets, 5 receptions, 58 yards. He is averaging 10 points a game the last 5 weeks. He's going against Dallas, who gives up the 9th most points to tight ends this season. I like Logan Thomas's matchup this week, and I'm fine picking him up off the waivers.
Yeah, he would have been. I think he had a fumble, so his points
It would
would
have
have
been
been
over.
a couple of. Yeah, he would have had a couple of points more if he didn't have that. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, especially not falling in the end zone. So yeah, I like the pick. Probably going to be a bit more of a shootout there than maybe people expect. Sam Howell will try and keep them in the game. So Logan Thomas will be relevant. So yeah, not much out there like we were saying beforehand. So yeah, it's definitely a good pick.
Yeah, I like Logan Thomas, but who's your guy that only had 1 target? I'm intrigued to know.
Pat Fryermuth. Again, I did not. I was scratching my head. I was going between Pat Fryermuth and Michael Mayer, to be honest, and I would gone with Pat Fryermuth purely on the matchup against the Bengals. Bengals like to give up points to the tight end position. So if the Steelers know how to actually run their offense well and get Matt Canada to get his finger out and actually throw the ball and let Kenny Pickett do something, even though I don't think Kenny Pickett looked good, like I mentioned previously. But Pat Fryermuth could be his safety blanket in this team. Like last week, he had 1 target, 1 reception for 70 yards. Yay. But the Bengals is, like I said, is a good matchup for tight ends. And Pat Fryermuth has been a very good fantasy relevant tight end in the past. So hopefully he gets back on form this week.
I have a question for you. Do you think Pickett should lose his job to Mitchell Trubisky?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is brilliant by any,
I think he's better.
Anyway,
He's better than Pickett.
Yeah, but I do think he got a raw deal at Chicago. I think like the coaching was bad, everything was bad, and it was just kind of like, well, we'll blame Trubisky and hope nobody, notices the rest. I definitely give him a go. I mean,
yeah,
you're
in the playoffs. So
that's it. The problem was when Pickett was playing bad, they were still winning, or the defense would bail him out and they'd win, so he'd get away with it. I mean, if they were on a loss, on a roll of losing games, then Pickett would have been pulled and Trubisky would have been in there. But the record's okay at the moment, so he'll get away with it for now. But I think, yeah, I'd put Mr. Trubisky in. I mean, he'd give you more. He can run. He's dynamic. We know he likes to throw. So, I mean, if you can refine him a little bit, I think there's a talented quarterback in Trubisky. But I definitely have him over Pickett. I just don't see them making that change unless Pickett goes out there against the Bengals and is terrible again, and Jake Brown wins, which they could. I mean, the Bengals are at home, but maybe that will do it if the Bengals, if they lose to back-to-back backup quarterbacks, then that could do Pickett and Trubisky be in. But I don't think he'll be just doing it this week now, going into it. But I'd rather see Trubisky play.
Let the Muth go loose. He's only had 4 targets. He's only had 4 targets all season. Like in every game, he hasn't had more than 4 targets this season. Let the Muth be released. Let him produce. We know he can produce. Exactly. And like you said, he can be a safety blanket to Kenny Pickett. I really like it. I really like it a lot. But it's just, the question is can he be producing with Mr. Pickett fence? But we don't know.
That's what he plays, like a picket fence. Wooden and
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, you look at these alternate tight end options. None of them really stand out overly. None of them hit double digits. I mean, the closest one to double digits was Donald Parham, but you mentioned Michael Mayer. Michael Myers in there, Keith Otten, and then Tanner Hudson. Hudson was 0% owned last week. He was on our alternate tight end list. He's back on it again. 7.3%. I mean, for 8.9 points this week. He's trying to make a name for himself.
If Joe Burrow didn't get injured, I probably would have had Tanner Hudson as my tight end because he just likes him. I mean, he just targets him all the time. Like I said last week, I mean,
it was a practice squad. He got elevated from the practice squad and everything.
Burrow asked him to take him up. I don't know what Burrow knew or Burrow seen or if he knows him or what. But since he got taken up from the practice squad, them two just that just worked and it clicked. So yeah, he would have been my pick if Burrow. I just don't know whether he's going to hit it off with Jake Brown and straight up. So that's why I'd have my doubts about that. Parham's fine once Gerald Everett's not around. Once Everett's back, well then he mixes in and then takes the targets off him. Kate Otten, he's fine. Bit of a hot and cold thing with him as well, but Baker has been looking now and again to him. Michael Mayer, I like him, but I think he has a tough matchup against the Chiefs next week. They are stingy against tight ends, so that's what put me off when I was picking between Mayer and Pat Freiermuth. That's what put me off him.
Okay, interesting. My question to you is Bengals. They obviously lost Joe Burrow for the season. They're right now sitting 11th in the AFC, sitting on the bubble right now. No shot they make the playoffs, correct?
Oh, yeah, correct, yeah.
Now, you look at the Cleveland Browns, a little bit opposite. They're 7-3 in the playoffs at the 5th seed right now. Do you see the Browns making the playoffs somehow?
The Browns can, yeah, but it'll all depend on their defense. All them games will have to be low scoring, tight games. Run the ball, get whoever's at quarterback. It's probably going to end up being Flacco. I know he's not starting this week, but I think it'll probably end up being him just to throw when they need to. Use Hunt, use Ford, and keep the games really tight. And if they have to win by a kick every game, that'll suit them. But that's how they'll win, and it's kind of how had been playing anyways when they had Watson. So they can do it because they don't have to change a lot of their style. It's very much run the ball, play really good defense, keep it tight, don't give up many points, and just hope we can score enough to win. So I think they can.
Not to mention they're 7-3, lost Chubb in the beginning of the year, now lost Watson, and they're still they only have 3 losses.
Yeah, and they're still finding a way to win, which is kind of impressive, let's be honest. I'm not a big Browns, believer, fan, or anything like that. I don't really like them a lot, but it is impressive, you have to say.
Yeah, very impressive. And I thought they were going to lose. It was just crazy. I should have just kept my prediction to them being
Shouldn't have changed. Yep, never changed my mind.
But what I should have changed was last week's Monday Night Football prediction, because I told you that I should have picked the Broncos and I didn't pick the Broncos, and then they end up winning. Keith, can you believe that? I said it too on the pod.
You said it on the pod and then you didn't do it. I mean, come on. It was right there for you. It was right there for you.
I laid myself up for that. It was a setup. I just didn't finish the alley-oop. I mean,
it didn't finish the alley-oop.
It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. I had the opportunity, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to my gut, what I had in predictions. Bills can't lose to the Broncos. No way.
Yes,
now Broncos are on a 4-game winning streak. And yes, they can. Now and the Bills suck.
Oh, they're
just an average team that just can win and lose.
That's it. The Dolphins will win that division. That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Monday Night Football predictions. We got a Super Bowl rematch, Philly against Kansas City. I will say the last 5 Super Bowls. I don't know if you saw the post. Last 5 Super Bowls, whoever won that Super Bowl, the next matchup that they faced each other in, the team that won the Super Bowl won that game as well. Last year, Kansas City won. Does Kansas City have what it takes to win tonight? Keith, who are you picking? Is it going to be Philly? Is it going to be Kansas? This is a good toss-up. This one could be different. Tell me. Tell me.
Different. I feel it's going to be different because I'm going to go for a 31-27 win for Philly.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
Well, at least you're going to get another loss this week.
Oh, so we are split.
Because I won't be getting another loss. I'm not doing it. I'm picking the Chiefs, 35-34. Get me like that werewolf hat, whatever that they do on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
I'll be howling it. Kansas City has to win. They have to win, because if they don't win, it's going to be ridiculous.
You're toast.
I'm toasting the records. I'm 5-7 on Monday Night Football. That's ridiculous.
I know.
You're 8-4. And I could have been 6-3. Could have been 6-3.
What are you gonna do, buddy? What are you gonna do? At least we have both high scoring games, so we're hoping for a really good game either way.
I really think it's gonna be high scoring. I'd be shocked if it's low.
The Chiefs' defense is good this year. That's the only thing. The Chiefs' defense has
But
been good, so
the
they
Eagles
could be
are good.
stingy to the Eagles. The Eagles are good. Let's be honest. I mean, they could just probably push their way to win in this game, get it to the 1 yard line all the time, and just throw Jalen Hurts over. But yeah, I think let's just hope it's going to be high scoring. We both obviously predicted that it will be. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You're
Did
going
you pick
Chiefs.
the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl? Did you pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have the same exact difference. I picked the Chiefs last year, and I'm sticking with the Chiefs. You picked the Eagles. You're sticking with the Eagles.
Yeah. So maybe it would be reversed. Maybe the Chiefs will do really well in the first half, and then the Eagles do well in the second half tonight and win.
All right. I don't think that's going to happen. No way.
You're
it's gonna
hoping it
happen.
won't. There's no Taylor Swift tonight either, so that's out the window too.
Oh man, that's it. I gotta change my pick.
Yeah, there's the Lucky Charm gone.
Really?
Yep, she's not there.
She's not there? She's not there?
No, because of all the schedule changes to her tour or something. She's not there now. So
yeah, to her tour.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
I don't know. I think the families are meeting though. I don't know if that's still happening, but like the Kelseys and her parents are meeting. So that might bring you some luck. Hopefully not.
Okay. Hopefully so. But yeah, all right. So we finally have a difference. It's been what, like 5 weeks since we've had a difference?
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. So finally we have a difference, and hopefully I don't get unlucky again. I gotta go to the store, get a horseshoe, and hope for the
best. if you lose tonight, you need more than a horseshoe, buddy.
I do. I need more than a horseshoe. I'm the Bengals of this year. But or the Patriots. I mean, you might as well call me the Patriots and call yourself the Seahawks, because that's literally how our records are going.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we end the show, obviously it's Thanksgiving coming up. So I want to ask you who one player this fantasy season that you're thankful for having on your team. And I'll go first. Okay. I would say he's a recent one because I think he's going to be a league winner. But I think I'm thankful for having Kyler Murray on a lot of my teams, because I went to go pick him up in a lot of rosters, and he scored 20 plus points this past week. And I think he's probably been one of the biggest ones in waivers that you can get for a quarterback besides Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs, obviously another thankful quarterback, but I think I'm going with that. And then I just want to throw one more out there. Who could I throw out? Who's another guy I can throw out? Kind of just thinking about it on the fly. Kyron Williams, because he's going to come back.
Yeah,
because he's going to come back. Yeah,
I know.
All right, who's your guy?
In my couple of my deeper super flex leagues, I'm stuck on quarterback, and I've actually got CJ Stroud in both of them. So that means I'm playing a wide receiver, because I got Watson in one of them, and he's banged up. I can't remember off the top of my head who's on the other one, anyways. But I'm struggling. I'm only end up playing one quarterback, but I'm playing Tank Dell in the other spot.
Ooh.
And I'm thankful for Tank Dell because he's balling out. I got 20. See how I did there? See what I did?
Okay.
But he's been scoring high recently, and when I need them the most on bye weeks, he's come good. So it looks like, one of them leagues I'm struggling big time, but I'm going to pick up a win, and I'm only going to be a game off being 500, so I'm close enough to playoff. So Tank Dell's definitely the guy that's helped me a lot, so I'm going with him.
I would also, last one I would go with as well as Puka Nacua. I think Nacua, I mean, he's been the no-brainer personally, because he was probably not drafted in any of the leagues unless it's a dynasty one way back in the day.
Yeah.
And if anything, you probably picked him up off waivers, and he's produced for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And now I'm thinking about another Mr. Consistency, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen? Like it? No, Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is just doing it week in, week out. Yeah, I have Keenan Allen in one league, and he's been good, but Amon-Ra is just so you just know what you're getting every week. It's double digits. Yeah.
I tried trading away Keenan Allen for James Cook earlier in the season.
Oh,
and I took that trade. I withdrew that trade.
Definitely.
And I'm so thankful for withdrawing that trade.
There you go. So Thanksgiving worked out for you there.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's going to do it here for today's show. It's been a great one. We got tonight's game, Super Bowl rematch, and then we got 3 games on the schedule for Thursday. It's going to be a fun one. But again, if you haven't done so already, go to Underdog Fantasy, use that code SportsTimeHQ. They'll match first deposit up to $100. Keith, tonight's thing, Jalen Hurts higher or lower than 8.5 rushing yards. He's only been under 2 times this season. Is he smashing the higher or lower than 8.5 rushing attempts?
Higher, definitely.
Okay. I'm also going with the higher. Isaiah Pacheco, lower or higher than 48.5 rushing yards. He's only done under 48.5 3 times this season. Are you taking the higher or are you taking the lower?
We're going high scoring games, so I'll take higher.
I'm going to take the lower. I think it's going to be more of a passing game, so that's why I'm going to go with lower on that one.
Okay.
But once again, use code SportsTimeHQ on Underdog Fantasy. They'll match first deposit up to $100. And if you haven't done so already, go to TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. Go get yourself a trophy ring or a belt, or even go get yourself, for your league mates, whoever finishes last, go get them a toilet trophy. Or if you're going to win like me, go get yourself a best fantasy player ever trophy. Gotta go get yourself some bling from TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. Maybe we'll get something for Keith too. Maybe he'll win. We don't know that yet.
I'm gonna win the pick'em, so you can buy me something. I'll let you.
Yeah, all right. But once again, I was joined by my great co-host Keith. Go follow him all over social media at SwampDonkey_90, and go follow him on Instagram at HuddleUp_NFL. I'm Fernando. I'm your host, SportsTimeHQ. We will see you all